In April of 2010, I decided I wanted to become a fish and game officer. Little did I know it would be a long process with much disappointment. My first step was to contact the New Hampshire Fish and Game Office. After getting redirected several times, I was told to email the director. I introduced myself and explained that I was interested in joining the force and asked what I needed to do to be considered being hired. I was told that New Hampshire required their conservation officers to have either 2 years of military service or 2 years as a police officer. So I had a decision to make. Did I want to be in the service or dive into college to get hired on the department? I took my first visit to the recruitment office in May 2010. I was not sure what I was to expect. I walked in seeing two fully uniformed men. Sergeant Jackson was the first to acknowledge me. I told him I was thinking about enlisting, and he was very excited. After talking with my mother and I for almost 3 hours, he asked what I thought and said I think would be the right match for me. Sign me up. We started on the paperwork. We did as much as we could on our initial meeting. We only got so far because I did not have some of the required papers on my person at the time. We did as much as we could with just my license. One major form we were able to complete was an oral survey where the recruiter asked me questions verbally and I answered yes or no. When I answered yes to a question, he would pause to get more information about why I answered yes. One question was, have you ever had a head injury? This was a problem farther down the road. I answered yes because I had gotten a concussion due to a car accident in January. At the time of the appointment, the recruiter said my past concussion would not be an issue. I completed the rest of the paperwork using my diploma and social security card the next week. After completing the rest, the last thing I had to sign was the enlistment agreement, and the recruiter congratulated me. He told me that he would contact me when he made his next trip to Concord to bring students to take the ASVAB test. A few weeks went by, and I got a call from Sergeant Jackson saying he could bring me to Concord the following Thursday. On Thursday, I went to meet Sergeant Jackson. We got into the car and started on our way to Concord. On the drive up there, Jackson explained it was not like a normal test scored out of 100. Instead, it would measure our knowledge in certain areas to place us in the job most fitted for us. The test was not timed, but we were there for almost 3 hours because we finished at different times. It took me 78 minutes to complete my test, and I got a 51 on it. I was worried that I scored low, but after I showed Jackson, he was impressed. I scored the highest out of the 4 people that went up with him. I scored highest in the engineering category. After completing the ASVAB, I was getting excited and nervous because the next step was going up to me for the physical inspection. I was out for 2 days to tie up any paperwork and get a physical performed by the military doctor. Sergeant Jackson and Sergeant Enos came to pick me up to make the drive up to Maine. While we were at the house, they gave me a second drug test. While waiting for the test results, Sergeant Jackson got a call from the doctor in Maine saying I was temporarily disqualified and could not go take the physical. The recruiters left without any information about why I had been disqualified. He said he would call me when he had more information. A week went by without a call or update on my situation. I was getting nervous. I called Sergeant Jackson and he told me that my concussion I had in January was creating a hold on me. I was upset and angry. Upset because I had been rushing to do what I needed to do, and angry because Sergeant Jackson had told me my concussion wouldn't matter. I was then told that a 12-month hold was placed on me, and I could not enlist until January of 2011. All I could do was wait for the hold to run out in January. In that 8 months, I found a Marines recruiter in Concord and decided to talk to him in case I was more drawn to them. In December of 2010, I made an appointment. I explained my situation with my concussion in the Army. The Marine recruiter called the doctor in Maine to ask about it, as the recruiter had never heard about anything needed that extensive of a waiting period. As it turned out, my paperwork had never even been sent up to Maine by Sergeant Jackson. I was not disqualified in their system since all military branches go through the same doctor. I was livid that I had to put my life on hold for no reason. I called Sergeant Jackson and told him I was no longer interested in joining the Army. Instead, I asked the Marine recruiter if they were looking for enlistment. He said they were, but they only had one female spot left, so we had to get the paperwork done fast. Luckily, I had all the necessary papers and cards on me to complete the paperwork in one trip. We got everything signed during the initial visit and then talked about how the process would differ. Since I had already taken the ASVAB and had a recorded score, we were able to request that from the Army recruiter, and I did not have to take the test again. Unlike the Army, I did not have to take any drug tests. The recruiter asked me instead about my drug history. He He told me if I was honest, it would not affect my enlistment. But I told him the truth when I said I have no drug history. He then sent up my medical records and enlistment forms to Maine and told me we had done all we could do until the doctor called him. Once again, all I could do was wait. 1 week went by and I got a call from the Marine recruiter. I could tell something was wrong in his voice. He proceeded to tell me I had been permanently disqualified due to a recurring skin condition in my medical history. I was beside myself when he told me there was nothing we could do at this point and apologized. After a year of putting my life on hold, I could not join any branch of the military because all the doctors go through the same people. This was in February of 2011. I realized at that point I could not put my life on hold anymore for something that could go wrong again. I changed my whole plan and decided to look into schools for criminal justice majors. I found Hessa College and have been enrolled in the online program since 2012. Thank you for watching.